We are open. Okay. Hello, my name is Derek Smallwood. This is short-term programming for CVMBS. Thank you for joining today. My colleague Amy is handling the tech support. So if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A and they'll be addressed throughout the presentation. Unfortunately, we only have 20 minutes today, so we won't have time to address questions at the end. But if you do have any questions, please do feel free to put them in the Q&A. We are streaming this on YouTube and recording this video. So if you want to return to it later, it'll be available on the International Programs YouTube page. You can also send the link out to friends. Again, this is a presentation on CVMBS short-term programming. Hopefully you've been able to attend other presentations throughout this week. The intention of this whole entire Education Abroad fair is just help you think about how Education Abroad works here at CSU. And hopefully by the end of this week, you'll know the what, the where, the why, the how of how Education Abroad works here at CSU. Before we get started, I do want to read the CSU Land Acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on, oh, sorry, my computer is glitching, is the traditional and ancestral homeland of Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This is also a site of gathering and healing for numerous Native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion, and significantly that the founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Very quickly, a quick introduction to myself. I'm Derek Smallwood. I use my pronouns he, him, and his. I have a couple different roles in our office. I am our international risk manager. So what does that mean? I help students gain the knowledge, the skills, and the resources to help them be safer travelers abroad. So student safety is a very important part of what we do here at CSU, and that is my primary responsibility within our office. I also advise for the Middle East and Africa. So our office does regional advising, and I'll spend a little bit of time addressing this later on. But if you are interested in studying in the Middle East and Africa, I would be your primary coordinator. I studied abroad in Italy as an undergraduate, and then after I graduated, I spent a semester in Palestine teaching English. This picture is from a monastery, actually in Israel, that I got to visit. Two different study abroad experiences. Both of them very transformative, and if you are interested in studying either parts of the world, I'd be happy to address studying abroad in Italy or studying abroad in the Middle East. You may have already attended an Education Abroad 101 presentation this week, and if you haven't, the presentations are happening every day at 9 a.m. We're also, again, adding them to our YouTube channel so you can access them there. And I just want to highlight that presentation as an important opportunity for an overview of the Education Abroad process here at CSU, the skills that you can gain from these experiences, just why an Education Abroad might be important, and a breakdown of the different program models that we work with. So really important introduction there, and we do address some of these myths of Education Abroad in that presentation, but I want to quickly talk about them in this presentation as well. So before we jump into the short-term programming for CVMBS, a little bit of myth busting. So first things first, an education abroad should not delay graduation. I think that's something we often hear, is that studying abroad will delay your graduation, and that certainly does not need to happen, and that's something we're actively and consistently trying to prevent from happening. In fact, with good planning, it will certainly enhance your degree, can keep you on track for graduation, and in some cases can actually help you graduate early. So today I'm going to be talking about programming that's available over the summer, over winter break. So this is a great opportunity to gain academic credit, not during the semester, and that could help accelerate your graduation plan. Second, we often hear a myth that education abroad is more expensive than courses and then living here at CSU and in Fort Collins. And while there are some programs that are more expensive than cost of living and tuition here at home, there are some programs that are the exact same cost. There are some programs that are actually less cost, especially if you're an out-of-state student. So depending on where you're going, what you're doing, what your goals are for study abroad, there can be some really affordable programs that can be less than cost of attendance here at CSU. Third, you can in fact fulfill course requirements by studying abroad. These could be courses required for your major, they could be electives. There's a wide variety that these academic experiences can fit into your personal graduation plan. And this planning does require conversations with your academic advisor, with my office, with your education abroad coordinator, with the registrar's office. It's a process, but we want to make sure that these experiences are keeping you on track for graduation and you can fulfill course requirements when you're abroad. Lastly, we do hear a lot of concerns around safety, and I especially think that's true today with everything that's going on with the pandemic. Again, my role is to help students navigate these experiences in a safe and successful way. We have a whole risk management team that's constantly monitoring and communicating risk abroad. And I think by working together with you, with your leaders, with your programs, we can really foster these experiences in safe and successful ways. So thinking a little bit more about your college and where we're seeing students go abroad, I was looking at the locations and I was really spread around the world. So what I wanted to do is just to highlight the different departments within your college that are sending students in pretty significant numbers. And I wanted to use this slide because I think it demonstrates that even with really sweet sequential degrees, degrees that you may think are more difficult to fit in a study abroad, we're sending students abroad from your college. And I think this is really reaffirming that it is possible, again, even for students who have really set degree plans, that you can have an international experience if this is something you're interested in. This does include graduate students in your college. We do see a lot of graduate travel from your college as well. So it's just really exciting to see VMBS students on these international experiences. I also want to highlight the recommended programs list. So we've worked really intentionally with every department here on campus to highlight programs that could fit specific for your concentration. This is a list that has been catered specifically into your major in consultation with your academic advisors, with different advisors within your college. And this is a great place to start on figuring out which program could be a good fit for you. By no means are these the only programs that you can participate in, but again, these have been customized to really fit well for your particular degree, for your particular major. So it's a great place to start. You can find them on our website. And again, these are called our recommended programs lists. So now we're going to take a look at a few short-term programs that should work really well for your college. First is a faculty-led program in Zambia. This is called Community Education and Health in Zambia. It takes place every summer and is led by a CSU faculty member in the English department. So this program takes students to Livingstone, Zambia, to assist Zambians in different settings that have been projects that have been done in consultation with the local community, as well as our partners on the ground. So some of the settings that students are working in include educational. So students are working in schools, after-school programs, adult literacy, physical education, again with the local community. We also see students doing community health work, so working in clinics, some home-based care, health education programs. So I think that could be a particular interest to students in your college. We've also seen students work on gender equality projects, doing some sustainability work. So a wide variety of placements in the local community. The class, it's a 3-credit English course called Reading and Writing, the Zambia Experience, and there is honors credit available. Because of the honors component especially, we see students from a wide variety of majors participating in this program. This coursework focuses on the ethics, motivations, the sustainability and development work. And again, this program is a really unique way to get to a part of the world that has a little bit less travel to, do some really engaging and important work in these communities, that these projects have been done in consultation with our local partners in the community on site. So that's faculty-led program each summer, community education and health. The next is a medical shadowing internship program in Croatia. This is over the winter break, so this takes place every winter break, and it's a 1-credit program, again, led by a CSU faculty member. It is designed to provide students the opportunity to participate in a hands-on medical shadowing program, which is a really unique opportunity to take what you're learning here in the classroom and apply it in the field. And I think this is a great opportunity to get some hands-on experience and help you decide, is this a path I want to continue to pursue for the rest of my professional career? Students are paired together and assigned to a doctor to follow their medical rotation. In addition to the medical shadowing, students will take a course that focuses on program reflection, cultural competencies, and a comparison of healthcare systems, so comparing the Croatian European systems to the American systems. During this program, students develop self and cultural awareness through experiential activities, dialogue of reflection and readings, and also some critical analysis, gaining a better understanding of the medical professions, again, in different kind of cultural and international contexts. Croatia is a beautiful country. This program is based in the capital, so great opportunity to explore the Croatian capital as well as other parts of this really diverse and beautiful location. So that's, again, 1-credit winter break program. The last short-term program I want to highlight today is our internship partner in Dublin, Ireland. So CSU partners with an international internship placement organization to facilitate customized 1 to 3 credit internships in your field of study. We've seen students do internship placements in biotech, the life sciences, a wide variety of different companies based in this really international city. So Dublin's known as a very international company city, which is like kind of a hub throughout Europe as well as America, the Americas. It's a really great place to get some professional development experience abroad. It's an 8-week program with students begin with a 3-day orientation in Dublin. They have a welcome reception, and then you go into your placements. Students are typically working 4 days a week for 32 hours per week for a total of 256 contact hours. So that's 4 days a week working, and then there's long weekends to explore Dublin, Ireland, which is a spectacular country. And then the countries are also really accessible to other places within Europe. So when you're not working in this internship, working alongside Irish colleagues, other international students, getting to explore the country and perhaps further afield. So those are just 3 programs I wanted to highlight. Again, there's a wide variety out there, but I thought those are 3 particularly interesting short-term programs that would fit well for CPMBS. One of the big questions we're always getting from students before they're going abroad is how to earn credit for these experiences. And really that answer depends on which program type you're participating in. CSU does offer over 100 programs where you're earning a CSU credit. The faculty-led programs I mentioned today, those are CSU courses taught by a CSU professor where you're not transferring any credit. You're literally taking a CSU class abroad. We also work with a lot of different organizations where you can earn transfer credit. You could attend a foreign university and transfer credit back to CSU. And there's some steps that we want to make sure you're going through in advance to ensure those credits transfer the way that you intend. And this is something that we work through long before you depart. So first, you want to have the coursework reviewed by the registrar's office, and this will determine how many credits the course is worth, as well as it will be upper or lower division coursework. You then work with your academic advisor to determine how those specific classes, those transfer classes, will fit into your graduation plan. Again, this is something that you're doing long in advance. We want to make sure these experiences will contribute to your grad plan and keep you on track for graduation. There's a lot of different resources and support to make sure that is happening. Once you've decided on which program or which program model is a good fit for you, your coordinator in our office will help you figure out this transfer credit process, if it's even applicable. This is the transfer credit form. This is the form that you use to navigate this process, and this is done again in consultation with a couple different offices here on campus. Who you work with as you navigate this process. So that'll be your education abroad coordinator. Again, if you're interested in studying, for example, the Middle East or Africa, that'd be myself. You work with your academic advisor here on campus to help you fit your graduation plan into your study abroad experience. And then you also work with program coordinators on sites, or the faculty member you may be traveling with, so people who are on the ground navigating your study abroad experience with you. So there's support pre-departure while you're abroad, and there's also support when you return. There's a wide variety of different support systems you can turn to as you navigate this experience. And as you have that initial conversation about which program could be a really good fit for you, these are some of the resources you could also turn to. These are the different education abroad coordinators within our office. So for example, if you're interested in studying in Italy, you'd be working with my colleague, George. Christopher, he advises for internships abroad, which I think can be a really good fit for CVMBS students. So if you are interested in gaining that hands-on experiential learning in a professional setting, Christopher could be a great resource to kind of help you navigate where you could do an internship abroad. Again, regional advising, so depending on where you're wanting to go or what you're wanting to do, you'd be working with these different coordinators. We also have peer advisors. So these are students who recently returned from an education abroad experience and help you navigate your process based on where their experiences. So they're just great resources. I think kind of first steps and how did you find your program? What worked well? What didn't work well? What sort of tips may you have? They're available through our office, through our online chats, which is on our websites. And again, they've had different experiences in different parts of the world. So depending on what you're looking for, they can be really, really important resources as you navigate those initial steps about where you're going, what you're doing, and what their experience may have looked like. We also work really closely with colleagues in the financial aid office. So the scholarships, grants, and loans you receive here on campus, the vast majority of them can be transferred to an education abroad experience. Again, your financial aid that you receive here on campus can go abroad with you. And then there are additional scholarships that you can take advantage of specifically for an education abroad. The financial aspect of this, it's something we want to make sure you navigate in advance. The academics and the finances are two really important things. I think having early conversations with my colleague Cindy or Evelyn about how your financial aid transfers to your education abroad is really important. We also want to highlight these scholarship due dates. It's important to keep these due dates in mind. So depending on when you're going abroad, you want to make sure you're applying to scholarships specifically for these education abroad experiences available through our office. Depending on which program you're going with, there could also be additional scholarships or grants available that you can take advantage of to help bring down the cost of the program. All right, so some next steps. I think it's important to think about what sort of classes you need to keep on track for your graduation plan. So if you can come into our office and say, these are sort of courses I would like to find abroad, that can help us figure out which sort of program could be a really good fit for you. So that starts with your academic advisor and then a conversation with your education abroad coordinator. I also want to highlight the Start Here page on our website. So if you just Google CSU Education Abroad, you can quickly find the Start Here page. Tons of resources, videos, kind of a sequential next steps. So that's a really helpful tool. You also see where you can research different programs that we have available on our website and that Start Here page. Make an appointment with the Education Abroad coordinator. If you're having trouble navigating our website and that program search, the Education Abroad coordinator can show you how to do that, and then you can do a little more independent research at home. Making an appointment with a financial aid advisor to, again, figure out how your specific financial aid plan, your scholarships, grants, and loans can go abroad with you, as well as additional scholarships to take advantage of. And then applying. I will say that applying to these programs is easier than applying to college. It just really comes down to making sure you're working with a good timeline. We do encourage students to be applying a year in advance, ideally. So keeping on time with when applications are due.
Eric, we have a question that I thought might be worth answering out loud. So the question is, how does our financial aid transfer to an education abroad if it's short term, like over the summer or winter break?
That's a great question. So over the summer, you need to be in 6 credits to be able to use financial aid. So if you were doing that faculty-led program that's, for example, 3 credits, you'd want to also take a 3-credit course here on campus to be able to utilize your financial aid. So 6 credits of coursework over the summer to use financial aid. For that winter break program, it's tied into the spring semester. So you can use your same financial aid for spring for that winter break program. So you can certainly use your financial aid for these short-term experiences. It kind of just depends on where you're going and how it fits into your rest of your financial aid package. Thank you. That's a really great question. So last slide here. If you haven't seen the Ed Abroad 101, please watch that video on our website or on our YouTube page. That financial aid scholarships, they'll talk exactly about those sort of questions. They happen every day at 9:30 a.m. And the end, that's also on our YouTube page. And I also did want to highlight a couple other sessions over the course of the fair. They have happened already, but they're available on our YouTube page. I spoke a lot about internship experiences today, and we had a session specifically on international internships. If that's something that interests you, again, it's a great way to have that cultural learning opportunity, gain some professional skills, interact with international colleagues, so kind of check a lot of different boxes. And then the Peace Corps. So we work really closely with the Peace Corps here at CSU. Again, I thought this may be of interest to students in your college. That's a great info session to watch the recording on and schedule appointments with our Peace Corps rep if you have additional interest in that experience after you graduate. We are just at time. If we do have additional questions, there's a lot of contact information on our website. Thank you for attending today. I hope you do had a great week at the fair, and hope to see you in our office sometime soon. Thank you.